Okay, so let's have a look on the agenda. So this evening, I'm going to talk about key strategies and how you can create engaging content for your social platforms. And we're going to have a look on different social media platforms and also on different applications that you can use for creating content. And then we're going to have a look on search engine optimization and how you can monitor and analyze your online presence. And then in the end, I'm going to show you how you can edit your photos in the optimal conditions. And then we're going to end the session with a Q&A session. And for those of you who are dropping in now or later, this webinar is recorded, so you will all receive a replay link. So if if I'm going too fast or if you want to rewatch it, there is the possibility to do that. And so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Solli. I'm a photographer and videographer from Sweden, based in Paris. And I'm also a Nikon and Calibrate ambassador. And these are a few of the brands that I work with. And if you want to see my work, I'm present on a few online platforms. So I have 2 different Instagram accounts. I started with my travel Instagram account that you can see to the right. So there I'm posting pictures from Paris, but also from my trips. So it's more related to landscape photography. And then during the pandemic, when I started to do food photography, I started to post the food photos in this Instagram account, but I saw that the engagement rates dropped. So I realized that maybe food was not very interesting for the people who were following me on my Instagram account. So I decided to create a new channel, and there I post my food photos, but also from hotels and when I do product photography. So I keep them separated. And I also have an online portfolio and a blog. And I also started a YouTube channel during the pandemic where I share tutorials in food photography. So let's have a look on the key strategies for a powerful online presence. We're going to go through how to create an online, or what's most important when you're creating an online portfolio, and the use of social media platforms. And we're going to have a look on SEO and also how you can engage with your audience. And let's start with the online portfolio. But before I begin, let's start with a poll. We can begin. We can do the first one just to see. Let's see. So we have. Okay, so now you should be able to see the question, and that is, what platform do you use to showcase your photography? So do you have a website or online portfolio, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or LinkedIn? Let's see, so the majority are having a website, portfolio, or maybe you have many of them, but which one do you find most effective to showcase your photography? I'll give you 1 minute so you can choose the option that is most relevant for you. Nobody selected TikTok. That's interesting. And 0 on LinkedIn. So we have a few that chose Facebook. The majority have selected websites and portfolio, 33% Instagram, and then a few on Facebook. Let's see if we have a few more that will participate. 10 seconds left. Well, it seems that, yes, the majority replied website portfolio, so 53%, and then 36% chose Instagram, and then 11% replied Facebook. So the majority chose website and portfolio. So that's what I'm going to go through now, and then we're going to talk about the other social media platforms as well. So I'm going to show you the results. Great. So when you create your online portfolio as a photographer, if you're shooting different themes like I do, it's very important to categorize and your photos. So make sure not to showcase all of them on one page. Make sure to divide them into different categories. For example, here I have, you have to click on each image. So I have one category for restaurants, one for table art, one for flowers, to make it easier for the visitor to find exactly what they're looking for. So for example, here you'll find all my food photos. And then I have another page here where you can see all the pictures that I have taken at hotels and other interiors. And then we have this one where you can see all my landscape photos. And that's very important to save the time of the viewer. They shouldn't waste too much of their time if they're looking for something specific or just want to see your work in a special category. And what else? So it's very important to have an about page where you tell the visitor about you and the photo gallery that I just mentioned, and your contact details. And that's something I often see people, they have very beautiful online portfolios and everything is perfect, but there is a very important detail that is missing, and that's the location. Sometimes I don't know where the photographer is based. They don't mention the city or the country. And that's very important when you have an online portfolio to write, but also for the SEO and when people are looking for a photographer on Google, so they know where you're based. So make sure to write that. And even if you're available to travel worldwide, it's good to write at least in what country you're based in. So make sure to include that detail. And then it's also nice to have some quotes or comments from your clients because that builds trust. And it's also good to create a blog section or a news section where you can add, if you're having exhibitions, for example, or if you're organizing workshops, or if you're attending a special event. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the blog later too, but make sure to have this section too to update your content and always have something new on your portfolio. And then, yeah, it's also good to have a list of clients that you have worked with or that you're working with, and the work you have done for them, because that's interesting for potential client when they're looking for a photographer, so they can see what you have been what you have done for other clients. It's also important that you're having a responsive design. It should be easy. It should be a very user-friendly experience for the visitor on your website. So they should be able to access your portfolio on the laptop, but it should be as easy on their mobile and or on their iPads. So make sure that you opt for responsive design when you're building your online portfolio, and make sure that it's easy to navigate. It should be very easy to find, the information that the person is looking for, and make sure to update it regularly. And here you can see, for example, I have separated all the editorial work that I have done, so I don't mix it with the photos. So I have just scanned the pictures from the magazines where I have been published and kept them in a separate category. And let's see how you can create compelling content to attract and retain followers. So one tip is to create tutorials. And like I mentioned earlier in this webinar, during the pandemic, when I was locked down in my apartment, I started to learn how to make videos, and I created my online YouTube channel. And there I recorded a few tutorials on how on food photography, where I shared some tips. And that worked very well. You can see this is an episode that I did on composition guidelines, and it had almost 10,000 views. So, and it's a great way to drive traffic to your website as well, and to also show to potential clients, if you also are a videographer, to show what you can do. So it's a great way to showcase your work. Another tips is to share behind the scenes. And it's something that I see more and more today. But when I started back in the days, there were no behind the scenes. So it was difficult to imagine how food photographers were working. But I always try to remember to put my phone on record mode and record and film myself when I'm shooting. And then I have some content that I can create a short video and post it as behind the scenes content, for example, on my, so these I have published on my Instagram account. So it's very short videos, and you can also publish them on YouTube, or if you have a TikTok channel. So here to the right side, you'll see that's behind the scenes where I was doing a dark and moody photo. And then in the center, you can see behind the scenes when I was doing a stop motion animation, and you can see that I'm tethering. There is a USB cable attached. And to the left, it's me setting up the entire scene. So these scenes are very interesting, and it can attract both clients, but also followers. Or if you're organizing workshops, then people can see how you're working, and they might be interested in having a one-to-one with you, or join one of your workshops. So don't hesitate to share how you're working. And it's very easy. I mean, just set up your phone and film yourself, and select a few of the sequences. So it's not very complicated. And then there are other ways to engage with your audience, for example, on Instagram. And I'm going to show you a few things that I do quite often. So on Instagram, if you click on that small icon, you'll get access to all the stickers. And there you can select, let's see here, you can select the poll. So there you can ask your audience a question. So for example, here, I ask them, do you edit your images before publishing them? And then they can reply yes or no. And that's a very easy question. So the purpose is to engage people. So don't ask very complicated questions. It should be very easy questions, and because the purpose is to have many as possible to reply and engage. And another sticker that you can use is the quiz. So here I asked, guess the name of this park. A, Jardin du Luxembourg. B, Jardin de Tuileries. C, Jardin de Plantes. So here you can select the right answer, and then when they click on the alternative that they think is the right answer, then they see what is wrong and what is correct. So that's another way to engage with your audience. And then we have the emoji slider. So here you can ask another question. For example, do you like Paris? And then they can just drag the slider. And you can also change the emoticon on the slider and adapt it to your question. And then there is also the question sticker. And here I just wrote, ask me a question, and then they can simply type their question in the box. And that's also for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write it in the public chat. And then in the end, I'll go through all of them. So that was a few engaging stickers that you can use, but there are many more. So don't hesitate to explore and make sure to use them quite often, because I can really see that when I use them, the engagement rates really increases. So it's much better than just posting a picture, because that doesn't engage. Maybe people will like it, but if you ask them a question, then most of them will engage. And that's good for you, because then you'll have more visibility. And then there are many different social media platforms that you can use as a photographer. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming. But let's do another poll. Let's see if we can have a break with question number 2. So what is your biggest challenge in building a strong online presence as a photographer? So first alternative, growing a larger following. Number 2, consistently creating engaging content. And 3, managing multiple platforms effectively. Let's see what you're answering. So for the moment, the majority, so we have 1 minute, 40 seconds left. The majority has opted for consistently creating engaging content. And that's actually something that takes time, as you can see. But yeah, we'll talk more about it. And also growing a larger following. That's linked to creating engaging content, because when you're creating engaging content, then you will automatically get more followers. And not many people chose. Okay, so let's see the results. Show the results. Okay, so 49% said that they find it challenging to create engaging content, and then 36% replied that they find it challenging to grow a larger following, and 15% to manage multiple platforms effectively. Okay, so let's talk about the different platforms. So here I have mentioned a few. So we have Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. So these are 6 social media platforms that I'm going to talk or just present now, because it would take me hours to talk about one and each of them. I didn't include Twitter, because I'm not using it as a photographer, and I don't find it very interesting as a photographer to use. So I excluded it from this list, but I did add a thread. So let's start with Instagram. So on Instagram, it was launched in almost 24 years ago. And it's a social media platform where you can share photos and in the past few years also video content. So here you, as a photographer, you can showcase your work to a very big audience, and you can also connect with other photographers and engage with potential clients. So today, according to the statistics, there are almost 2 billion active users on Instagram, and as many of you who are using it know, the algorithm changes always regularly. So you have to make sure to understand it and keep up with the new rules. And what else? Yes, and then Instagram, they created Threads that was launched this year, and it works almost like Twitter, but you can post images as well, and it's like a text-based. You can have text-based conversation and engage with your community as well, and it's great to connect with potential clients, but also with your audience. You can share your work, and it's so and a good thing with Threads is that it was launched this year and is still under development, so it's a good moment to jump on the train before it gets overwhelmed. Because today, now, if you create an Instagram account, it's more difficult to get to get a lot of visibility. But if you start with something that is quite new, then it increases your chances. And they also share the posts that you make sometimes on Threads on Instagram. So you have like what you're publishing on Threads is also visible for Instagram users, so they can discover you and maybe follow you on Threads as well. So I would highly recommend to create a Threads account if you're not there yet. And then we have TikTok. They also have around 2.5 billion active users. And there you only have videos, so very, very short videos. I know that on Instagram you can have a reel that is maximum 3 minutes, but on TikTok it should be very fast. So even just a few seconds, max 15 seconds. And it's a great video platform where you can create and share engaging content. And I find it, so as you know, there are lots of dance videos, but I know that it's very good for behind the scenes and also tutorials. So very short tutorials and showing how you're working, then it's great to share those videos on TikTok. And then we have Facebook, which was founded more than in 2004, so it's been there for a while. I had a professional Facebook account for my photography, but to be honest, I don't have time to manage all the channels. So now I only have my private personal Facebook account, and I share my photos there, and the photos are public for everybody to see, but they can't see my my messages. So that could be an option if you don't want to manage yet another social media platform. And then another thing on Facebook, it's that you won't have a lot of visibility unless you're sponsoring your posts. So unless you don't want to spend a lot of money, then I don't think you would waste quite a lot of time and effort to be on a platform where you have almost no visibility. So if I would recommend a platform, then it would be to be present on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. But also Pinterest is a great platform to showcase your work, because there you can be discovered by clients as well. And it's you can share your entire portfolio, and it will be shared by others, and they can create their albums. So it's a great way to showcase your work and finding potential clients. And then we have LinkedIn, and that's a professional networking platform, but it's very useful for photographers as well. And it's great to showcase your skills. You can showcase maybe not your entire portfolio, but if you've been working with a client, you can share the best pictures, and that way you'll get noticed by other people as well. Maybe a potential client. It's a great place to network with to connect with other photographers, but also with agencies, and to explore job opportunities. So don't underestimate LinkedIn. So it's not only for work, but it's great for photographers as well. And let's have a look on the apps that I'm using for creating content. So when I edit my images, then I have two applications. There is the Snapseed and Lightroom Mobile, and both of them are free. So you don't need to pay anything. And I'm just going to show you quickly the front and the interface. So this is Snapseed, and it's been developed quite much the past year. So here you can do all the basic things like editing the brightness, contrast, and you can also work with the curves, and there are filters. So you can do many things with Snapseed, and it's very easy to use. And then you also have Lightroom. Lightroom, I would say, is more advanced editing, because here, apart from all the basic editing, you also have access to create masks. So that's very interesting. And then you also have the remove tool. So I really like that. So if you want to do some more advanced editing, then you can download and work with Lightroom Mobile. But apart from the editing applications, there are many, many more applications to edit your content. So we have, for example, CapCut, which is a great video editor. And there is in Stories, where you can create animated stories using your photos. We have Canva, where you can create creative assets. So it could be both prints and everything for online social media platforms. There is also Unfold, that is also for social media content, and Adobe Express, that is also for creating assets, and it's very similar to Canva. So CapCut is something that I use when I edit my videos and photos on my mobile. So that's what I have on my mobile. And then I also have Canva and Adobe Express. And before I was using InStories and Unfold too, but I don't have them anymore. So they have a free version and a paid version. And to have access to most of their templates, you have to pay. CapCut is also, I'm using the free version. But if you want to have access to more tools and more templates, then you can opt for the paid version. But the free version, it works very well as well. And I wanted to show you how, because if you're a photographer and you don't do any video at all, and as you know, on Instagram, they valorize video content, and especially reels, then it's a bit complicated if you don't do any videos. So what I usually do, I do videos, but I also do create videos using my photos. And I'm going to show you step by step how I do that using CapCut. So I'm going to show you the video now, and then let's see, we have it here, videos. So first I go and open the CapCut application on my mobile, and then I go to the photo library that you can find up here and choose the pictures that I want to have in my video. So here you can see that I'm selecting one image by image, and I think I'll have around 13 images, and then I click on add. And here you can see that all the images, they've been imported, but the duration of each sequence is 3 seconds, which I think is a bit too long. So I click on each image, and then using my 2 fingers, I drag them together and make until they reach the duration of 2 seconds, like you can see here. And I do that on each image. And if you have the application on your desktop, I think there is, under the settings, you can select all the images and edit the duration. But here you have to do it one by one. But if you only have around 10 images, you'll see that it goes quite fast. And this is the last sequence. And here you can see in the end there is a black sequence with CapCut, and that's something that you can remove by just selecting it and clicking on delete. And you can easily drag and drop the images and place them where you want. So you just need to select them and then just drag them. So here, for example, I want to change the position of the picture with a dog. So I just click and drag it till the end. And then I go through the images, making sure that they have the right dimension. They should all be vertical, but I see that one image is not, which is this one. So I click on it and drag the image and make sure it covers the screen. And then I think it's fine. You can see that there is no real transition between the images. And I want to add a transition that I use for the picture. So I click on the white square with a black line, and then I click on transitions and choose mix and make sure to click on apply to all, so I don't need to do it on each transition. And now you can see that the transition has been selected and everything looks fine. If you want, you can edit the images as well, but I have already edited all the images in Lightroom before importing them here, but it's good to know that you have that possibility. Once I'm done, I click on the export button, and then I click on done. And here I go and open the Instagram application, and I select, make sure that reel is selected, and then I select the video clip that I just created. And this is how the video looks like. And I can add an audio by clicking on the audio icon here. But I'm not going to choose any audio here because I can't play it. So, and if I want to add a text, I can easily add that by clicking on the text icon, and also by clicking on the text icon above. So there are lots of possibilities, and you can add the music by clicking on the music icon above as well. You can add stickers, and you can edit the video here too by adding a text, and you can also choose where in the video that you want to have your text displayed. So maybe you don't want to have the text during the entire video, but only in the beginning. So you can just write your text, and then you will just click on the text here below, and just by using your 2 fingers,
making the sequence of the text shorter. And then you'll see that it will just be visible in the beginning of the video, but you can of course drag and drop it where you want in the video. And once you're done, you can choose the cover image, either by selecting one from the sequence of in your video, or by adding one from your camera roll. So here I'm just selecting one from the video, and I think I'll choose this one here maybe. I would go with this one, and then I go to profile grid and make sure that it's centered, because it's not nice when it's in your feed and you just see the bottom or the upper part of your image. So make sure to center it. And here you can add a caption. You can also add a poll and your hashtags, and I always add the location too. And you can also tag people by clicking on tag people here. And once I'm done, I click on the button share.
Okay, so that was a very, very short video on how you can create a video using your photos and to create more reels on your Instagram accounts. I hope it was clear. If you have any questions, we can take them in the end of the webinar. Let's see. And then we're going to talk about SEO. So search engine optimization, which is very important if you want to rank high in the search engine results. And it's crucial if you want to increase your visibility and attracting more organic traffic. And it's very important for us photographers because it helps potential clients to find our portfolio. And I'm using SEMrush. It's very small here, but I just wanted you to see how it looks like. I'm using the free version. They also have a paid version, but here at least I can do a few search. Well, the search is limited on keywords, but I find the free version is working for me. But if you want to do more searches, you can opt for the paid version. But it's great for keyword research, and there are many other tools that you can use it for. And as I mentioned before, it's great to optimize your website and make sure that the title and the meta description and your header includes the relevant keyword. And it's also important to create valuable content on your portfolio, or on the website where you have your portfolio, like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, to maybe have a section where you can have a blog or news, or you can share tutorials. Because the more valuable content you share with including the relevant keywords, it will improve your ranking. So make sure to add some valuable content to your portfolio as well. And another tip for SEO is to, when you're uploading your images, to make sure to include the keyword both in the file name. So instead of having a file name called img1234.jpg, if you're, for example, a portrait photographer based in Paris, then you can write portrait underline photographer Paris.jpg. And also in the description of the file images, to make sure to include the keyword. But there are a few platforms that you can use for free, and it's great to make some research and make sure to include the most relevant keyword on your website. And then we're going to have a look on how you can monitor and analyze your online presence to refine your growth strategy. So we're going to look on two things. So it's the insights on Instagram, but also Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is for your, it's a free and it's a web analytic tool to use for your online portfolio, for example, and it helps you to track, for example, the number of users. You can get session statistics, you can get approximate geolocation, so you know where people are based that are visiting your portfolio, and you can also get some information about their browser and device. And so, like I mentioned before, it's very important that you have a responsive design. And you can also, the data that you get through Google Analytics is very important because it lets you understand how your potential clients are finding you, and also what pages they're spending most of their time on. And by using this, the data that Google Analytics is gathering for you, you can update and refine your page. And always make sure to optimize it to be well ranked in the search engines. And there is also an insight on Instagram that is very useful. So you can either have a look on the statistics on each post. So for example, this is a post I made on Clementine. So here we can see, so if I click, you'll be able to see that it's written insights, and you just click, it's below the image that you have posted. And there you can see the reach, the engagement rate, you can see if it's the ratio between non-followers and your followers. So here we can see it reached almost 92% of my non-followers. And so it's very useful to have a look on the statistics for each post. And then on your profile, you can also click on the professional dashboard, and there you can see the number of views, the interactions, and the total followers, and the content that you have shared the past month. And it's very useful because it lets you understand what kind of content is getting more engagement. So if you see that a picture that you have posted is not receiving a lot of engagement, then maybe probably it's not that kind of picture you should continue to post. You can also see the split between the gender, the age, and they're quite, let's see, and also here. So yeah, the age, and you can also see the views based on each post. So it's always good to take at least some time every week or once in a month to analyze the content that you have posted and check the statistics to understand what is working better, and to continue to do that. And I'm going to show you this picture on raspberries. So this is a post that became viral. I think it was in May when I posted it. So here you can see all just a few of all the accounts that were sharing it on their Instagram account. So I can't see here, but yeah, I got more than 10,000 likes on this image, which is quite a lot for quite a small account. Let's see, I got more than 10,000 likes. And here is some statistics. You can see that the almost 96% of I got an engagement rate of 97 from non-followers. And you can see how many comments I got, and also the profile visits. So I got more than 1,000 profile visits from these all these profiles, and almost 200 new followers. So and then you can also see the reach. So it's very interesting to dig into all these statistics to understand what is working and what is not working. And then I did an experiment. I posted this image again just 1 month later, I think. So I can't see it here, but yeah, I think it's in August. So the first one was in May, and then I got more than 10,000 likes, and then I got only 2,000 likes in August. And I was using the same caption, but different keywords. So that was just to experiment. And yeah, it's always good to experiment and try and see what is working better, and yeah, to continue to do what's working best. And then we're going to just have a quick look on how you can edit your photos in optimal conditions. So it's always good to use a monitor that is adapted for photographers. And more importantly is to calibrate your monitor. And I do that twice a month. And to do that, I use a probe from Calibrate using this color checker display. You can see that is hanging on the monitor, and that's how I calibrate it. And that's important because probably some of you have noticed when you're editing your image and you're sending it to your mobile to publish it on Instagram or emailing it to a friend or want to have it printed, then you can see that sometimes the colors are different. Maybe, that then it's very important to calibrate your monitor so that your devices can speak the same language, color language, color language. So make sure to calibrate your monitor at least twice a month. And then I'm just going to show you that I'm also using a color checker. And that's a time saver because especially when I'm shooting products or, for example, here, food, then it's very important that the colors are true to life. So then I can easily create a color profile by using the color checker. So the color checker is this small device with all the different colors. And before taking a picture, I place it near my object and take a picture. And then when I'm going to edit my picture in Lightroom, I create a color profile using this picture with a color checker. And then once I have created my color profile, I can use it. And then I know that the colors are right. And then I can just continue to make some improvements, or if there is anything else that I need to do. But it saves me a lot of time to trying to guess. And it's maybe not very useful if you're doing landscape photography, but when you're doing product photography, then it's very important that the colors are right. And that was the end of this presentation. I hope I didn't went too fast in the end, but now we have reached our Q&A session. So let's see. Yeah, we have quite a lot of questions. Let's see if I can. I will just scroll up, and you can keep adding questions if you have any questions. Let's see. Yes, that's a very good question. So I'm going to. So David asked, is there a standard pixel size suitable for uploading images to Facebook and Instagram at the size same time instead of having to resize to each one. I'm using, I think, 2048 pixel and the same size. So that's what I use for Facebook and Instagram. And I'm using another software. I'm going to write it here, which is called JPEG Mini. Oh, let's see, JPEG Mini. So that's I don't know if you can see JPEG. Yeah, I hope you can see what I wrote in the chat. So I wrote JPEG Mini. So that's a software. There is a free version and a paid version, and the free is just limiting how many images that you can compress. So it's a compressing software, sorry, that I'm using. So after exporting my image from Lightroom, before publishing it on any kind of social media platform, I compress it using JPEG Mini, and it's very useful. So, and it's a high quality result, so I can really recommend it. And then we have another question. What are the rules if you take photographs of products or brands that contain copyrights? And how would you display these photos on your portfolio or website with or without permission? Well, if it's client work, then I am allowed to showcase my work, and I'm not selling the images, so usually it should be fine. And that should be fine without even having a permission. But of course, it can always be good to talk with to have a discussion with your client before, but normally they would just be happy if you would showcase your work and the work that you have done for them. And if you have, for example, taken pictures of products that is not the client work, I think I haven't heard about anybody that have had any issues. I mean, it can also be good if you're looking for collaborating and working with a potential client to showcase what you can do with their product. So I think they would just appreciate to see what you can do. So, but of course you should be careful and not say that it's work that you have done for the brand. So that's important. And let's see if we have another question. Is it possible to merge two Instagram accounts to one? Unfortunately, not. It's not possible today. So if you have two different Instagram accounts, then I would suggest to keep the one where you have not most followers, but most engagement, because that's something I didn't mention during the webinar, is that sometimes users, they disappear, their accounts, maybe they change their Instagram account, and they will not engage with your content anymore. And if you have had like hundreds of thousands of followers and a few thousands of them are having inactive accounts, that will affect your engagement rate. So it's difficult to know what accounts are inactive, and it's nothing that I can find out by just going through the followers. But one thing is that I do is when I see that I have a new follower, often I click on the new follower, and if I see that that person is following more than 2,000 accounts, then I understand that either it's a spam, or in any case, if it's a real account, then they would never be able to see my post. So then I rather not have that person as a follower, so I remove them as a follower. I rather have less followers, but active followers. So I try to clean up among my followers, because it's very important for the engagement rate. So you should aim to have active followers and not have a lot of followers when maybe many of them are inactive. And then let's see if we have other questions. Is it necessary to have a WordPress site to use SEMrush? Does it work with other providers such as Squarespace? Yes, you can. I mean, I'm using SEMrush for keyword search, and you can use it on any. I mean, you can use it to do your research, keyword search, and it doesn't matter if you're on WordPress, on Squarespace. Maybe they have a plugin. Maybe that's what you're referring to for the WordPress. So I'm not sure if they have a plugin for Squarespace. So that's something you have to look up with them. But for making basic keyword search, that's something you can do no matter what kind of platform you are on. And let's see if we have other questions. So how do you ensure your images are calibrated correctly if editing direct from your phone, or does the tool work on mobile screen as well? No, so it's not possible to calibrate the mobile phone, but I find, I mean, the mobile phones that we're having today, I think I haven't had any issues with the colors, so you can easily edit your images there. And but I would not recommend, I mean, to post on social media, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to print, then it's better to use your monitor and a calibrated monitor, and then make your prints from your monitor and not use your mobile phone. And then another question, do I need to plug the calibrator directly into my BenQ monitor, or does it need to be plugged into the computer processing unit? A very good question. No, so if it depends what you're going to calibrate. You can either calibrate your laptop. So sometimes I calibrate my the MacBook that I'm using, but then when I'm using my big monitor where I edit my images, then I just connect the probe to the BenQ monitor. So that's where it should be connected to. So the monitor that you're calibrating. And then we have a question from Andy. How much time do you spend on weekly, daily basis on social? Also, where do you find most of your clients come from, social or directly through the websites? Actually, I spend too much time on social. I wish I wouldn't need to spend so much time, but it takes a lot of time to create content and to be active on many different social media platforms. And there are platforms where you can schedule your content. Those are very useful. So you can always schedule your content ahead, and then to save some time. But of course, I do spend a lot of time on Instagram and TikTok to understand the trends, because that's very important for me when I'm working with my clients, because I have to present, maybe if I'm doing a work for them, then it's important to know what's trending. So I need to always be online and check what's the most, if there is something that is viral, and I spend a lot of time on that. And the majority of my clients are actually coming from, well, most of them are from Instagram. So that's why I try to make sure to always post to maintain it, and because if you take a break, then the engagement rate will drop and even your visibility. So you should always make sure to post at least 3 times a week. I remember one time I took a break for 1 week, and then it dropped, and it took me at least, I think, 1 month before I reached the same visibility. So it took me a lot of time to get back again. So if you're leaving on holiday or on a trip, make sure to plan your posts, have a few images on your phone, and post them while you're away. Because otherwise you will have to spend a lot of time to get where you were before you left, and that's a shame. Then let's see if we have other questions. But I do have clients coming through my portfolio online too, so that's why it's important to keep it up to date, updated. Where is your favorite place to travel to, and why is it the Lake District? Well, I think I live in the city that I love to travel to, and that's Paris. I think there is no other city that I love like Paris. But then, of course, I love traveling. I love Italy. I love to travel to the northern countries during winter time. And there are many countries that I haven't traveled to that I'm curious to travel to. So the list can be very long. But I don't have a lot of time to travel, unfortunately. Let's see if we have other questions. I think we have already. Let's see if we have. So I got another question about the probe. So yes, you have to. You should connect it to the monitor that you're calibrating. So that's correct. And let's see if we have other questions. So I'm trying to scroll. That's why it takes some time. So now another question. When do you find is the best time to post on Instagram, or do you work off your insights data? So yes, I don't think I showed you while we were going through the analytics, but yes, you can see in the insights, you can see where you have more engagement on the days and also the time. So, and it's something, I mean, you have to experiment and see what works best for your audience, because they can be different from photographer to photographer. But for me, I think I try to post, or when I post in the afternoon, just before the evening, I tend to have more engagement. And I would never post on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon or Saturday evening, because that's the end of the week and people are leaving their work, and they're not very they don't spend a lot of time on their mobiles. They try to maybe go out and meet their friends, so that's would not be the best moment to post. But otherwise, the other days I tried to post in the late afternoon. Let's see if we have other questions. Okay, I think we are out of time, but if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me on my social media accounts or send me an email, and I would be happy to get back to you. And as I mentioned before, you'll have the replay link so you can watch this again. And thank you for your patience in the beginning, and sorry for the technical issue we had, but I'm glad that you stayed and watched the entire webinar. And thank you very much to Wix, because we have an offer that I want to, I don't think we, let's see, we have an offer from Wix, and that's on the display HL devices. So you will get 15% discount on all the Calibrate color checker charts by using, let's see if I can copy this link, and then I'll just copy the link and I'll post it here in the public. Okay, you already have it there. So if you use the code, you'll have a discount until the end of this month. And yes, I think that was it. And you'll get the link too if you forget to copy it here, then you'll have everything sent to you by email. So thank you very much to all of you who attended, and thanks to Wix and Calibrate for sponsoring this webinar. Have a nice evening. Thank you.